Okay, let me start up. Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are tuning in from. You're welcome to this week's Forex Outlook for the 16th to 20th of October with Grey White FX. So, as always, we're going to start off with the economic calendar. Looking at the economic calendar, we don't have so much heavy rate news, except on the Aussie dollar, employment news on the Aussie dollar. So next week is looking relatively calm. Let's see how it looks like. Last week was pretty interesting. If you go through our previous review for last week, almost all our setups played out, but the funny thing was the bounce, the gap on Monday, and the massive turnaround of gold on, I think it's Thursday, Friday, yes, Thursday, Friday. So without taking so much of our time, let's get down to see what the week has for us. So we're going to start off with US 100, dollar index, Euro USD, GBP USD, gold, Euro GBP, pound yen, and Euro yen. So looking at the US 100, this is still in a kind of a retracement on the weekly. If you look at, we have an unmitigated fair value gap still sitting here. So this basically is still in a retracement on the weekly. If we go down to the daily, well, the daily, the initial trend is up. That's one thing with the daily. What we're looking at is a retracement on the daily. And when you have an uptrend, the retracement is going to be most often a bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish. So that's what we're seeing for now on the daily. But my concern on the daily is we have what looks like a higher wave formation here. So price rallied from here, like I said last week, into this fair value gap here. And if you look at this fair value gap here, let's keep our mics on mute, please, if we have a noisy background. And if you look at this fair value gap here, it was the last up candle before this down move. So this is a bearish order block. So you see price ran into it and there was a move down. And so if we go into the 4-hour time frame, what we're looking at going into this new week is the possibility that we might see further downside continuation. Please, I don't want to remove anybody, but let's keep our mics on mute, please, except you want to talk. Some of you have noisy background. So looking at this is the major move down. This is the retracement. So going into this new week, what I'll prefer to see on this pair is that if it's to continue going down, it needs to rally first into this structure point here. As you can see, it's sitting within a 4-hour bullish fair value gap. It's sitting within a 4-hour bullish fair value gap here and 4-hour fair value gap down here. So there's a possibility we might see a rally. If it's to continue down, it would rally first and then come down to probably this low. Because if we look at it on the daily, we have what looks like a bullish order block here on the daily. Although this other block didn't change direction, but price may respect it. So going into this new week, this will be the first drawn liquidity, then this structure point here. The next way we're going to be looking at is the DXY. The DXY, if we look at it from the weekly, we can see that this pair is bullish. We can see on the weekly, this is the major move and this is a retracement. Now, and if you look at it, we can see that price has closed above 105.88. You can see that price has closed above 105.88. When it retested it, it bounced off there. If we go into the daily setup now, I can see this massive move on Thursday and this on Friday. So going into next week, if we look at it on the 4-hour time frame, we can see there's a breaker here, a bullish breaker. And see there's a bullish breaker here. So going into this new week, we would need a retracement into this daily fair value gap here. This fair value gap is from the daily. That's this point here. But if you look at the 4-hour time frame, you find out that the fair value gap on the 4-hour time frame is bigger. But if you notice, this daily, the lower bottom of the daily fair value gap lines up with this high here. So there's a possibility this may drop in here, create a bullish evidence. Then the rally, the first draw will be this previous week's high at 106.78, 106.97, then probably any of these points here. Although we have this unmitigated fair value gap here, so this most likely will be a draw. Because whenever you have a swing high and an unmitigated fair value gap, that most likely will always be the draw on price. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is EURUSD. EURUSD, this pair is still bearish. This pair is still bearish. Going into this new week, I prefer it rallies first. Don't want to see it come down. Prefer a rallies first into this structure point here, then come down into this area first. But if it rallies down first, then that means the retracement up might be deeper. But for this pair, it's still bearish. Prefer to see a rally into any of these points, then a continuation back to the downside for probably this low here, this level at 104.44. Same thing too with the GBPUSD. The GBPUSD, let's go to the weekly. If we go to the weekly, looking at this pair on the weekly, this is the impulse leg. There's a change of character below this point here. And so this basically the retracement of this move is still in play. There's no continuation to the upside yet. If we go to the daily time frame, the daily time frame has a bullish breaker. Can't see. The daily time frame has a bullish breaker. Let me remove high joint. And see the daily time frame has a bullish breaker. I will put the candles back. So looking at this pair, if this pair is to continue down, I don't want to see it drop, because if it's dropping, you're going to be watching this low here. That's at 121.08. Because if you look at it, this is a bearish setup. So if it's to continue bullish, we need it to come into this fair value gap here, get rejected and move down. Because if you remember, we're expecting a little bit of an up-down move on DXY. So that will force this to... Yes, if this is to continue down, it will need to go up first. Sorry. If this is... Now, if we look at this, this is a bullish breaker.
Yes, but it came down after that.
It came down after that, yes. Because most times, it might not stop at the breaker level. But if you observe, it is still within the body of the last up candle before the down move. If you look to your left, it's still within it. So, given that, it may rally into this fair value gap here. And if you observe in this fair value gap, we have what looks like a balanced price range. When you have 2 points meeting like this, we have this here. So we'll be expecting this to rally logically, all things being equal, to rally, to continue the down move. But if it should drop, you'll be watching this level here. If this level rejects price, then we might see, then this bullish formation may actually move, may fail. No, this bullish formation will work. You get it. But if it rallies first without dropping, then this formation has the potential to fail. But we can't say until Monday, because we remember what happened last week. The market opened with a massive gap, so we just need to wait and see. But for this is still slightly tilted to the downside.
This Saturday, there was heavy, impactful news on GBP. Well,
I don't know. Let me see.
Today? Saturday, 14th. Check.
Let me see. Let me see. I don't look at, oh, Bailey is speaking. That's
Uh-huh.
a British. Whatever he
Yeah,
sees, we'll see it on Monday now. That would help
yeah,
us clear up things.
might have a gap.
Yes, we might have a gap, but I'll prefer the gap up. I don't want a
O-
gap down. Because if it
Okay.
gaps down, then we'll wait to see if it will fill the gap and continue lower.
Okay.
So we just need to wait and see what next week brings. So the next one we're going to be looking at is gold.
Hmm.
Gold was interesting. It played out perfectly. Go back, watch I said last week for gold. It played out well. My only concern with gold was the way it gapped the move on Monday. That was my only concern with gold. It didn't retrace. That was where I had an issue with gold. Because if you remember, if you go and watch the last review, I was saying that my network is misbehaving. I was expecting it to retrace into here. It didn't retrace. Because I said that this is bullish. They had swept the lows twice. One,
Hmm.
two. So there's no need for them to go back down.
Hmm.
Definitely they are going to go up, and they cleared everybody on Friday. Cleared everybody. So this pair,
Part of the Israeli-Hamas war.
that's part of the issue. And if you look at gold on the weekly, gold is not
Hmm.
bearish.
Hmm.
Gold is not bearish. Look at it on the weekly. Gold is not bearish. This is the impulse move. What you were looking at was the retracement. Remember I said, if they close below here, we have a reversal. But they didn't
18.
close below it. They
Hmm.
didn't close below it. And that was
Yeah.
where they immediately turned. So now going into this new week, there's one thing I want to point out. When you have a momentum candle like this, that is
Hmm.
not backed by structure. What do I mean by structure? Now let's go to the lower time frame. Do we have change of character on this? Yes. So it's
Yes.
sustainable. Now, but you would not want to buy gold at the current levels. Why?
Hmm.
Let's go to the weekly. This excuse me, this dodging is a bearish fair value gap. You won't see it on the week, you won't see it here. But if you drop to the lower time frames, it's a bearish fair value gap. Let me sorry, let me pull back my annotations. Then we're going to range it like this, and we're going to go down to the daily time frame. It now becomes slightly clear. You see, last up candle before this down move. That's where prices. You don't want to be buying within that area, because as a result, it may cause price to drop. So if you're looking for a long position on this pair, this is where you'll be looking at. We have a bullish order blocker within this area.
That means it has to go so low to
It
go up
may,
again. Why not?
it, it may not. You get, it is one thing for you to anticipate, then it's for the market to do what it wants to do. You
Okay.
understand? But if we're looking at it, we have all these fair value gaps here that might act as support. But where it is, you don't want to be taking a long trade there. So you just wait for a retracement and a continuation on this peg. Because
Okay.
if you notice, this other block was not tested
Which one?
this year.
Okay.
This was not tested. You understand? So, and it depends on what it does. If it sweeps this high, if it gaps into this high, then we'll wait and see what happens next. That is, what do I mean? If it gaps on Sunday above all these highs, then that means we will then start looking for the retracement and then a continuation back to the upside. But for now, gold is bullish. The next one we're
Okay.
going to be looking at is EURGBP. Now, this EURGBP is important. Why? Because if you have a bullish EURGBP, Euro pound, it means that you're going to have Euro strength and pound weakness. Now, but if you have a weak Euro pound, that means you're going to have pound strength and Euro weakness. So if we look at this euro pound on the weekly, let me put this back. We can see that this is the impulse. This is the correction or retracement. But within this move, we have some minor moves here. We have a change of character at this point. That's below this level here. Then we have a fair value gap here that price has respected. You see this last top candle? That was what I was showing you on gold. It's the same thing here.
Okay.
You see price respected, the price respected, the price has not closed above it. Now, if we go down to the daily time frame, this pair seems to be waking up a bit. Why? Notice 1, 2, 3. Remember, that was what gold showed before the massive rally. Do you remember? So the market
Yeah.
sometimes repeats itself. And if you look at this pair, we have a change of character here. So going into this new week, we go to the 4-hour time frame. We would wait to see a retracement and a rally. So EURGBP going into this new week, the possibility of a bullish move is evident. So we'll watch to see a retracement into this fair value gap or this swing low. Because if you notice, there's another block here. This last down candle before this move. If you notice, price held. Price didn't close below the 50%. Let's look at it. The 50% held. As you can see, it didn't close below it. So that held. So now, if this is to rally, where will your first draw be? This high, previous week's high, 86.74, 86.82, then this high at 86.91. Those are your possible highs for this pair should it continue its rally. Then the next we're going to be looking at is Euro Yen. Euro Yen.
It's not Euro Yen.
Sorry, Pound Yen. Sorry, Pound Yen. Getting ahead of myself. So looking at this pair has a kind of bullish undertone. You
See
understand?
all what do you call it?
Weeks.
The weeks.
Yes, yes. It's a sign of indecision. And you know, once again, once you have global
Somewhere.
yes, yen is a safe haven pair.
Okay, just like gold.
Yes, they will buy into it. And if they are buying yen, what will you see on yen? Lower prices. The yen will be dropping. The yen will rally. That's what you need to understand again. Yen is a safe haven currency. So looking at this,
not rising, like gold is rising. Why is it not rising? If they are buying yen, why won't it rise?
no. What is the yen? See the way the yen is noted. GBP.
Okay, pound yen. Okay.
It's not the other way around. You get.
Okay.
So the strength of this pair will be his dropping. His weakness on this pair will be a rally. So you need to pay attention to that. So looking at this pair played out well last week. You can go and watch the last week's recording on this pair. So looking at this pair now, this is what we have here. It's still in a retracement. This is the impulse leg. This is the retracement now. But if you look at this retracement now, there's a change of character above here. Do you see it?
Yes.
And that's it's looking like a bullish breaker. It's looking like a bullish breaker. If we go into the 4-hour time frame, we can see price is making higher highs. And it's not making lower lows. Price got here and bounced. So now, if this pair is to continue bullish, it might do something like this. You understand? But given the global turmoil, we may, if you notice, there's a bearish Order block here. So if this rallies into this point and gets rejected, there's a fair value gap here with a swing high. So it might really rally into there. If it gets rejected here, then we might see price. Because if you go to the 1 hour, you're going to see what I'm trying to show you on the 1 hour. You can see it's a change of character here. So if this rallies into this area and gets rejected, then we might see it sweep here and come down for this low. So that's what we're waiting for. We just need to, it's an either or. It's an either or what the market does. But if you're going to because already on the daily setup, we already have a change of character here. And price is within a bullish order block. As you can see, it's at that low. So on this time, on the lower time frame, there's a big possibility it's going to bounce. You understand? It may bounce, sweep into this area, then might continue down if the uncertainty in the global market continues. So now we're going to look at the euro yen. If we look at the euro yen is, I just don't know what to say for this pair.
Sideways.
It's sideways, as you can see. As you can see sideways. So I just don't know what to say for this pair. But you see all this liquidity here? You see all this liquidity with this fair value gap? There's a possibility it may come for it. And when he sweeps it, then it might drop. Let's look at it from the daily. If we look at it from the daily, we can see this is the impulse move, this is the major move, and this is the retracement you get. So that retracement is giving up an up move, then a down move. And if we look at it on the daily, it's sitting within this bullish order block here. Sitting within this bullish order block. So if we pick this high, this low, you see it's close slightly below the 50%. So that's not so strong for the bull. So looking at this pair, it may rally sweep here and drop. The way it is not giving good confidence. You get, so it may just rally. If you notice, there's a bearish order block here and a fair value gap. So it might sweep above here into here, then drop. But preferably, the best option for me would be to sweep everybody here and then drop. Doesn't mean you can't take the buy signal if you get it. If it gives a good buy signal, you can take it up to this high, this fair value gap, and then see what happens. So any pair, is there any pair anybody want me to look at before we call it a night? Or any questions?
Yes.
The dollar index is still going up, or it will come down.
Dollar index is bullish. Any down move is an opportunity to buy.
Okay.
Somebody wants to ask a question. Mr. Goldrich.
Yes, I was actually looking at the gold relative to the Euro USD. I observed that in the gold on weekly time frame, the price rejected from the year that the year low.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yes, that's where that's where it rejected from. And normally
It
we
didn't
would
reject
expect
from it. It didn't reject from it. It didn't even go there. It didn't get there.
check January.
If you look at February, this is March.
Okay.
This is March, Abby. The low is in February. It didn't get there.
Okay.
Because if it had gotten there, this rally will fail. Remember, this is a weekly time frame.
It didn't clear it. It didn't close below it.
So that means that. So what's your question?
My question is now, the Euro USD is supposed to go in line with
No. That's where you're going to make a mistake. Your job is to respond to what the market does.
Okay.
Don't trade based off what do you call this thing again? Correlation. I used to do it before. it would wreck you. It would wreck you. Have your system and trade it based off what the market is showing you at that particular point in time. Dollar index is not bearish. Gold is rallying because we have global insecurity. You get
crisis, right?
yes,
Yeah.
this Hamas and Israel. Whenever you have that, safe haven currencies are dollar index, gold, yen, and Swiss francs. Those are the four major safe haven pairs. Whenever there's uncertainty, if they've been going the opposite, that if they've been selling, they will gain strength. Mr. Goldrich has something that is giving feedback. So, as I was saying, gold and the Euro USD, in cases of global insecurity, the correlation fails because everybody will be buying dollar index and gold. And they can't be buying dollar index and the Euro USD will be going up. It's not possible. Whenever you see that, then you know there's a trouble. Then you know that there's something amiss in the market. I hope I've answered your question, sir. Hello, Mr. Goldrich, are you still there? Well,
Thank you. I got it.
okay. So,
Last week, you said it looks as if the gold is going back to where the drop came from. It has passed the area of the drop.
what did I say? Look at this.
You said it was going back to where the drop started.
And that's here now.
Where?
Here, see it here now. On the weekly.
Okay.
That's where he is. But that's where he is. That's why I said you can't take a buy here. You can't take a buy here. That was why I said wait for price at this point. And you were like, can he still drop this low? This is gold though. This is gold. He doesn't send anybody. He can drop like this and continue his journey. Why would they need to drop to make everybody believe that they are still going down? Abby? Everybody's selling. Where is their stop loss? Here. So when they start dropping, what would they make people believe? That they are still going to sell? People will now start selling more. Then what would they now do? Turn it and sweep everybody. That's business. When you understand it, you will not be the victim. That's it. That's why you need to understand and fully be aware. This is the deal here on gold. The weekly is resuming his uptrend. That's what you need to be aware of. The weekly is resuming his uptrend. The weekly is resuming his uptrend. The daily has not given a higher high. Now, but the 4 hour has shown you he's moving.
Yeah.
You get, so if this 4 hour retraces and starts going up, the daily is going to now, then now imagine what will happen on the daily. This highs here, they will take it out and challenge this one. So I wish everybody a beautiful night's sleep. Don't worry, I'll keep updating all of you in the group. I'll keep updating those of you in the group. I'll keep updating as I normally do every day. So
thank you.
I wish everybody a beautiful night's sleep and a wonderful weekend ahead.